Disclaimer: the information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be construed as professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health providers with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Look closely at your arms and legs right now. If you have crossed the threshold of 60, a silent, terrifying transformation is taking place beneath your skin, completely hidden from the naked eye. Every single day, an invisible thief is stripping away your physical strength, melting away the very foundation that allows you to stand upright, walk independently, and hold your grandchildren. You might believe you are simply experiencing the ordinary, slow progression of getting older, but you are being dangerously misled. Your body is losing its vital armor, the muscular shield that protects your bones and keeps you alive. If you choose to look away and ignore this reality today, you are quietly consenting to a future of total dependency, where your entire world will inevitably shrink to the tight confines of a bed or a cold wheelchair. Welcome to EldraFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. This is not just another casual health video, it is an urgent rescue mission for your fading independence. If you are ready to fight for your freedom and stop your body from crumbling under the weight of time, please hit the subscribe button right now. Your support gives us the vital motivation to continue researching and delivering these life-saving guides to our global community. What is happening inside your tissues is a merciless biological breakdown known as progressive muscle wasting. After 60, the human body undergoes a drastic metabolic shift, entering a destructive state where it actively dismantles muscle fibers faster than it can ever rebuild them. The lean, powerful flesh that once defined your youth is being systematically replaced by soft, non-functional fat. This is the real reason behind that sudden, heavy exhaustion in your limbs at the end of the day, why the stairs seem steeper, and why your balance feels terrifyingly fragile. The tragedy is that millions of seniors are fighting this battle with completely useless weapons. They consume heavily processed commercial protein shakes, fill their shelves with expensive, synthetic supplements, or simply surrender, believing this weakness is an inevitable curse of old age. These quick, unscientific fixes do absolutely nothing to halt the underlying decay. They merely mask the decline while your precious muscle mass slips away like dry sand through your fingers. We are living in a historical crisis where, despite modern comforts, more elders are losing their mobility than ever before, becoming prisoners within their own failing bodies. Before we uncover the deeper mechanisms of this condition, I want you to pause for a moment of honest reflection. Look at your life and answer this question sincerely in the comment section below to help us understand your journey. When you notice your body becoming weaker, more fatigued, or less steady on your feet, what is your genuine, immediate reaction? Option A: I accept it as a normal, unchangeable consequence of aging and continue to look for quick over-the-counter fixes or simple internet routines. Option B: I recognize it as a dangerous warning sign of severe structural decline that requires a highly precise, scientific solution. Write your answer, A or B, in the comments right now. The moment you choose option B and recognize this weakness, a dangerous protective instinct usually takes over. You open your computer or phone, desperate for an immediate solution, and fall directly into the perilous trap of self-treatment. Today, the digital world is completely flooded with random fitness videos, generic morning stretches for seniors, and well-meaning but entirely unscientific advice from non-specialists. Turning to these unverified internet trends is one of the fastest, most guaranteed ways to accelerate your physical decline and ruin your remaining joints. When you follow a random exercise routine or copy a video designed for the masses, you are playing a high-stakes guessing game with a body that is already fragile and structurally compromised. What most people do not understand is that older muscle fibers are incredibly vulnerable to micro-tears and severe, irreversible strain when subjected to incorrect angles or unguided resistance. Without professional, structured parameters, you are highly likely to overload brittle joints and force weakened, stabilizing muscle groups to handle forces they are no longer capable of enduring. This does not trigger healthy muscle growth, instead, it sparks chronic systemic inflammation, microscopic structural tearing, and rapid, accelerated muscle deterioration. Why do so many well-intentioned individuals fall into this trap? It is because the human mind is naturally conditioned to seek the path of least resistance. We desperately want a simple trick, a magical 5-minute routine, or an exotic superfood to miraculously restore decades of cellular neglect. However, the human musculoskeletal system does not respond to shortcuts. When you try to piece together fragmented information from random social media clips, you are completely ignoring the complex, delicate architecture of your aging physiology. You become deeply trapped in a vicious, exhausting cycle of trial and error, wasting precious months of your life while your remaining muscle mass continues to evaporate into nothingness. Every single unguided movement, every improper weight lifted, and every exaggerated stretch pushes you one step closer to a debilitating injury, a torn tendon, a strained lower back, or a devastating fall that could permanently strip away your autonomy and leave you bedridden. True physical restoration and the rebuilding of aging tissue cannot be found in the casual advice of internet influencers or the superficial promises of self-proclaimed health gurus. It requires a profound, uncompromising respect for the actual biology of aging, a deep understanding of metabolic slowdown, and a total commitment to a highly structured, scientifically validated approach. To understand why your body is failing to sustain itself, we must look past the superficial symptoms and examine the strict, unforgiving biology of muscle preservation. The absolute core element required to stop this silent decay and initiate the reconstruction of your fading physical frame is a highly specific group of nutrients known as branched-chain amino acids, with one particular compound holding the master key, leucine. This single, critical amino acid acts as the primary genetic switch that commands your body to build and retain muscle. Without an abundant, daily supply of leucine entering your bloodstream, the biological pathway responsible for muscle protein synthesis remains completely dead and unresponsive. Your body simply cannot repair the daily wear and tear of your physical tissues. Instead, in a desperate bid to survive, your metabolism enters a horrific state of self-cannibalization, systematically breaking down your own calves, thighs, and back muscles to extract the basic building blocks it needs to keep your vital organs functioning. This is the precise cellular disaster that leaves your limbs feeling hollow, heavy, and exhausted. Yet, here lies the cruel, agonizing paradox that traps millions of seniors. You may be consciously eating healthy foods, forcing yourself to consume high-protein meals, and yet your muscles continue to melt away as if you were starving. This happens because after the age of 60, your digestive system undergoes a massive, invisible collapse, with its overall efficiency plummeting by 70 to 80%. Your stomach drastically reduces its production of essential hydrochloric acid, making it biologically impossible to break down heavy proteins from solid food into the free amino acids your cells desperately crave. Furthermore, the modern food landscape is heavily contaminated with hidden processed ingredients and anti-nutrients that actively bind to your precious minerals, neutralizing them before they can ever reach your bloodstream. Decades of consuming inflammatory processed items, combined with the chronic, over-the-counter use of chemical medications, have left the delicate lining of your small intestine severely damaged and eroded. When your gut flora is decimated, or when you develop conditions like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, known as SIBO, your intestines become a barren wasteland incapable of absorption. Every ounce of expensive nutrition you consume is completely wasted, passing straight through your system while your skeletal muscles remain starved, neglected, and condemned to continuous, unyielding degradation. You are essentially starving from the inside out, trapped in a body that can no longer recognize or utilize the very fuel meant to save it. Overcoming this internal starvation requires more than just forcing amino acids into a broken system, it demands the activation of a second, equally critical companion key, the profound synergy of magnesium and potassium. Even if you manage to absorb a fraction of the protein you consume, those amino acids will remain completely stranded outside your muscle cells without these two master minerals. Potassium and magnesium act as the cellular gatekeepers, generating the precise electrical voltage required to pump nutrients across cell membranes and regulate vital nerve-to-muscle signaling. When your body faces a chronic deficit of these minerals, your muscles remain locked in a state of perpetual tension, plagued by sudden, agonizing cramps and chronic stiffness. The delicate communication between your nervous system and your physical frame breaks down entirely, rendering your movements uncoordinated, weak, and painfully inefficient. To break free from this destructive cycle, you must aggressively flood your body with natural, highly bioavailable sources of these cooperative nutrients. For structural muscle rebuilding, you must prioritize easily digestible proteins rich in natural leucine, such as wild-caught salmon, tender steamed chicken breast, and fresh egg whites. Concurrently, you must restore your damaged digestive environment by introducing traditional fermented foods like kefir, cottage cheese, and high-quality aged cheeses that naturally assist in protein breakdown. To secure your daily requirement of magnesium and potassium, your diet must be anchored by nutrient-dense plant sources, including pumpkin seeds, almonds, fresh avocados, bananas, and dark leafy green vegetables that have been cooked thoroughly to minimize harmful anti-nutrients. However, we must confront an absolute, undeniable reality that modern society desperately tries to ignore. After 60, relying solely on whole foods is simply not enough. Because your absorption pathways are already severely compromised, relying entirely on your daily meals means your condition will inevitably worsen. To truly reverse muscle decay, you must introduce pure, high-potency formulations with maximum biological availability. This means bypassing traditional, low-quality options and incorporating premium targeted supplements, such as pure whey protein isolate to saturate your muscles instantly, alongside advanced magnesium glycinate at a therapeutic dosage of 300 to 400 mg per day to soothe your nervous system, relax your tense fibers, and restore the youthful structural integrity your body is crying out for. Reclaiming your physical autonomy and halting the progressive erosion of your muscular frame after 60 is not a matter of luck, nor can it ever be achieved through random, disjointed efforts. You cannot heal a deeply compromised system by merely popping an occasional pill or mindlessly performing superficial movements. True restoration demands a rigorous, highly structured protocol that addresses the human body as an interconnected biological ecosystem. To force your fading muscles to rebuild, you must follow a deliberate, three-phased strategic approach. First, systematically repair and reactivate your failing digestive tract to unlock nutrient absorption. Second, flood your cellular pathways with a precise, uninterrupted stream of bioavailable amino acids and coordinating minerals. And third, initiate carefully calibrated, low-impact resistance movements specifically engineered for the aging musculoskeletal system. This is not about brutal, exhausting gym workouts that tear your fragile joints apart. It is about gentle, guided resistance therapy designed to send a powerful, unmistakable survival signal to your central nervous system, forcing your body to hold onto its remaining mass. Throughout my decades of dedicated clinical practice, I have witnessed thousands of men and women completely reverse their physical decline, escape the terrifying shadow of permanent immobility, and reclaim their vibrant, active lives. The paradigm we utilize at Eldra Fit Nutrition stands in stark contrast to mainstream medical approaches that rely heavily on temporary chemical interventions and invasive, synthetic fixes. Our methodology is anchored in the absolute truth of cellular regeneration, functional physical rehabilitation, and the undeniable self-healing capacity of the human body when provided with the exact biological tools it requires. This structured, holistic blueprint is the only definitive path to breaking the chains of physical decay, protecting your fundamental freedom, and ensuring that your later years are defined by strength, dignity, and absolute independence. If you are ready to stop guessing and start healing, the journey to rebuilding your physical temple begins right now. As we bring this crucial conversation to a close, I want you to realize that the state of your body today is not a permanent death sentence for your independence. It is, however, a loud, undeniable wake-up call from a biology that has been pushed to its absolute limits. The gradual fading of your physical power, the heaviness in your limbs, and the underlying fear of losing your mobility are all direct messages from your cells, begging for a fundamental change in how you treat them. For too long, modern society has conditioned us to accept physical decay as an unavoidable tragedy of growing old, forcing millions of vibrant individuals to surrender their golden years to the silent misery of weakness and confinement. But the science of cellular nutrition and functional restoration proves otherwise. You possess an extraordinary, deeply resilient capacity to adapt, heal, and rebuild, no matter how many years have passed. The choice before you right now is profound. You can continue down the familiar, passive path of ignoring the warning signs, relying on temporary quick fixes, and watching your world inevitably shrink, or you can step forward with courage, embrace a structured, scientifically sound blueprint, and actively fight for the vibrant, uncompromised future you deserve. Your body has carried you faithfully through decades of life's triumphs and trials. It has shielded you, supported you, and allowed you to experience the beauty of this world. Now, in this pivotal season of your life, it is your turn to protect it. By committing to an intelligent, structured approach to your nutrition, digestion, and movement, you are not just preserving muscle tissue, you are fiercely defending your autonomy, your dignity, and your ability to live life entirely on your own terms. Let this moment be the turning point where you reclaim your birthright of strength and vitality. The profound lesson to extract from this journey is that physical aging is not an unalterable slide into decay, but rather a reflection of accumulated nutritional and metabolic neglect. True physical longevity requires shifting from a mindset of crisis management to one of structural preservation. To apply this to your current life, you must start by respecting your digestive health, removing heavily processed foods that block mineral absorption, consistently nourishing your body with highly bioavailable, target-specific nutrients, and engaging in intentional, guided physical resistance rather than random, uncoordinated activities. To help us cultivate a shared space of wisdom, what is one simple, healthy change in your daily routine that you feel ready to try tomorrow? Please politely share your thoughts and perspectives in the comment section below so we can all learn from each other's experiences. Finally, if you wish to support our mission and ensure you never miss our upcoming wellness guides, please take a brief moment to subscribe to EldraFit Nutrition. Your presence and support provide us with the deep motivation needed to continue creating impactful, life-changing content for our community.